Good evening and welcome. Now is the opportunity for you to place any device that may vibrate or make noise into the silent or off position. Please draw your attention to our sign language. Good evening. I would like to welcome all of you to the 2019 AJA graduation ceremony. It's hard to believe that it only seems like yesterday. We were gathered for our first day of school. And now another year has passed. Indeed, it was a great year. And it has been a great year in and out of the classroom. We have been privileged to watch our students thrive in a way that only an AJA student can do so. A special thank you to our board, to the many rabbis and community leaders who are here to celebrate with us this evening. I would also like to take a moment to thank a few people who you will not see on stage and who will not be inside your program. Please rise and be acknowledged. Thank you to Scott, Barry, Alexa, Paige, Judy, Fernine, Daniel, DeWitt, Tali, Amir, Shelley, and you can wave into the rafters to Erica, who's live streaming. Thank you all. It is also my pleasure to welcome our faculty. Without our dedicated faculty, we would not be here, our students would not be here this evening. And they would have had a very different experience if it wasn't for this dedicated team. It is because of our outstanding faculty, the dedication that they give day in and day out, that our students are so prepared for the exceptional schools and the ability to take on the dreams of their choosing. It is because of them that we're able to have a diverse and dynamic program. For this, on behalf of our entire community, we will forever be grateful to our staff and to our faculty for giving so much to our children. At this time, I would like to ask you to please rise as we introduce and welcome our faculty. The reason many of us are here today is to welcome a group of young adults who model empathy, respect, Torah values, love of humanity, leadership, selflessness, and of course, they model what it means to be a mensch. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the AJA graduating class of 2009. fun. Take a look. Take a look before you. Faculty, parents, grandparents, community members, and friends. This is why we are here. And this is why we do what we do. Tonight is a special night. It's a night of celebration. It's also a unique night. A night of unique and mixed emotions. On the one hand, a door is closing. You are watching your babies, your children, complete a chapter of their lives. And they will soon leave your home to become more independent and charter their own path. But don't worry too much. There's always money and dirty laundry to bring them back. But seriously speaking, like you, we at AGA get emotional when we think about our students leaving our school. We have watched you walk the halls each and every day. We've seen their good days and their soon-to-be good days, day in and day out. And in some cases, they've been with us for over 15 years. A door is indeed closing. On the other hand, a door is opening. Like you, we share the excitement of watching them forge their own paths and identities. We are hopeful, and I expect, that together as a community, we will shed lots of nachas and blessings from all that they will do. We know that AJA has set them up with a strong Jewish identity, a fine-tuned moral compass, and a robust community of support. Now is the time to harvest what we have been sowing for them for so many years. A door is indeed opening. I want to wish us all a mazel tov and thank each and every one of you in this room. All of us had a part in reaching this milestone for our school and for our community. At this time, it is my pleasure to call forward Mark Zilberman, who will offer some greetings on behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta.
Thank you, Rabbi. Before I get into those general remarks, just a personal note. I arrived here 30 minutes ago, was sitting in my seat, sort of getting the feel and the vibe for this place. I've spent a little time here. This is awesome here. There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of excitement. This is a really cool place. Mazel tov on behalf of the staff, board, and volunteers of Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta. I would like to recognize AJA as a terrific partner of the Federation and a shining jewel in the landscape of Jewish day schools here in Atlanta. I would like to recognize AJA as a shining jewel in the landscape of Jewish day schools here in Atlanta. No, I didn't type it twice. I read it twice because it's very important. I would like to personally thank your professional leadership team led by Rabbi Lubitz, and of course Alan Minsk for his board leadership, which has been extraordinary, and look forward to working with Carol Radner, who will do an amazing job. Federation takes education very seriously because both formal and informal Jewish education have demonstrable, long-lasting impact on the future of our Jewish people. Over $1 million from Federation's annual community campaign continues to support day schools, not to mention additional dollars are spent on Summer Camp Initiative, Israel Experience, Hillels on our college campuses that we hope as students you will participate in throughout your college and post-college years. 8 Israeli Shinshanim have been part of the Atlanta Jewish Academy this year to strengthen the connection between our students and Israel. Since 2008, the Olive Fund, run by the Federation and administered, has provided almost 3,500 scholarships, contributing nearly $30 million to Jewish education. This past year, 573 Atlanta students received a Jewish education with the help from the Olive Fund. Here at Atlanta Jewish Academy, over $443,000 in scholarship money was raised through the Olive Fund. May you continue in your journey of Jewish education and becoming leaders in our Jewish community, in our Jewish world. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you to the Federation for its continued support. I'll try to be quick. I want to hear what Mayan and Yitzi give the orator. Approximately 35 years ago, I sat where you sit tonight. A graduate of then Yeshiva High School. We were in the then HACC auditorium on Peachtree Road. I think I was one of 12 graduates. Rabbi Estracher, may he live and be well, was and remains my rebbe.
The more things change, the more things remain the same. It seems no one can give a decent speech nowadays without quoting Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, or in my case, the Beatles. But this is a Jewish high school graduation. Let me go with Rabbi Sacks. A friend recently gave me a copy of one of his books, Letters to the Next Generation, Reflections on Jewish Life. It has a chapter on Jewish education. Humor me as I read this long passage, which I think is asinine. Send your children to Jewish schools. They are the pride of our community. They are our best investment in the Jewish future. A generation ago, Jewish schools were often seen as second best. They were where you sent your children if they couldn't get in elsewhere. Today, rightly, they are a first choice for many. That is a tribute to their excellence. But they are more than that. For Jews, education is not just what we know, it's who we are. No people ever cared for education more. Our ancestors were the first to make education a religious command, and the first to create a compulsory, universal system of schooling, 18 centuries before Britain. The rabbis valued study higher even than prayer. The Egyptians built pyramids, the Greeks built temples, the Romans built amphitheaters. Jews built schools. They knew that to defend a country you need an army, but to defend civilization you need education. So Jews became the people whose heroes were teachers, whose citadels were schools, and whose passion was study and the life of the mind. How can we deprive our children of that heritage? Can you really be educated without knowing Shakespeare or Mozart or Michelangelo or the basic principles of physics, economics, or politics? Can you be an educated Jew without at least a basic familiarity with Tanakh and Talmud, the classic Torah commentaries, the poetry of Judah Halevi, the philosophy of Maimonides, and the history of the Jewish people? Jews in Eastern Europe used to say to be an Epicurus or a heretic is understandable, but to be an Am Ha'aretz or an ignoramus is unforgivable. Now, I have no idea if you learned all of the above. I think my son Matthew tells me you learned at least some of it. I say to you tonight, are you questioning what my son tells me? Okay, you know what? We actually do talk. Okay. I say to you tonight that you have been given a gift of a solid secular and Judaic education. I do hope you will thank your parents and your teachers for what they have given you. They have devoted an incredible amount of time and resources to help you be your best. And while I'm at it, let me, on behalf of the HAA Board of Trustees, thank your parents and the HAA administrators, teachers, and staff for everything they have done to support the children and our school. But you, the students, are a gift. You sit here tonight as proud Jews, comfortable in your identity, comfortable in knowing that you are special. You know that wherever you go, the person to your right and to your left is your friend for life, as I remain friends with many of my classmates with whom I graduated 35 years ago. You are the present and the future of Am Yisrael. Similar to HAA's path, you have chosen to be different. You have chosen not to go with the flow and be just like everyone else. Always remember who you are. Always remember HAA was and is unique and quirky. I ask you to remain unique and quirky. Stay true to our values and remember to live what you have learned here and at home. You will be tested, but you will rise to the challenge. On behalf of the board, I wish all of you Yeshua Koach and Nachas to your families.
Alan, on behalf of the Atlanta Jewish Academy, I just want to thank you for your years of dedication, service, and commitment to the AJA community and the greater Jewish community of Atlanta.
Don't procrastinate. I'm the master of procrastinating, and it really does catch up to you after a while.
That hard work pays off, and if you want to do something, do it.
Something I definitely learned is that people don't know how their others. So being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and just recognize how you look is something that's so important to just living in the world.
There are going to be situations where you're uncomfortable and out of your comfort zone. Don't be scared of it, embrace it. A lot of fun, eye-opening, and interesting experiences will come out of it.
The importance of finding one good friend and just knowing that you always have them to back you up and to take care of you. And here at AJA, I didn't find just one friend, I found like 74 of them. They're all just so great and they kept me going when I didn't think I could.
The value of being open-mindedness and other people's perspectives.
That community is everything, and no matter who your friends are or not, who's in your group, who's not, everyone can be together and working together to amazing things and have just a really fun time.
Is that it's all about the process. In order to accomplish your goal, you have to work hard for it. It's not going to come to you. You have to work hard.
In high school, there are so many different people, and everyone has different likes and dislikes. And if you just be your own person and you use high school no matter who you are and what you want to do and the way you think you can grow best, and not change into what everyone else wants you to be, then I think you'll get get a lot out of it and much better out of it.
Like the world is yours for the taking. If you want to do something, you gotta go out and get it. And usually, if you take the initiative, don't get it.
You should really, it's gonna be cheesy, but you should really just be yourself. If you want to be popular, you shouldn't be the generic popular person, because I was always myself and now a lot of people like me for some reason. So,
All right, Mayan, I have a joke. What do fish and Avraham Avinu have in common?
I don't know, Yitzi. What do fish and Abraham Avinu have in common?
I was hoping you'd ask that. When Avraham Avinu, when Avraham Avinu is called an Ivri, it is because he opposed all others at the time and he swam upstream against the order of society. He did not follow the sun, the moon, or even the B-list celebrities who call themselves influencers on YouTube. He proclaimed that there was a God, one that he couldn't see or feel, but who was there, affecting everyone and everything around him. The title of Ivri emphasizes that Avraham acted despite the fact that others opposed him. Avraham lived a life separate from the others of his time and was isolated due to his unique views on God, aka monotheism. Chazal explained that the term Ivri connotes Avraham's capacity to resist any pressure from others and his willingness to stand alone for the sake of his monotheistic beliefs.
On the other side of the pond, the Ramah in Shulchan Aruch and Yoreh De'ah, when discussing the kashrus of a fish, presents a fascinating scenario. We all know that the signs of a kosher fish are fins and scales. But what if you find a fish with no skin on it and you can't tell if it has scales? The Ramah says that in this case, if the head is still attached and there is a backbone, you can assume it had scales, meaning it is a kosher fish. This halacha is an analogy, focusing on the idea of the backbone. The backbone is what makes us the kosher fish. Makes the fish kosher. And it also is the very quality that allows it to swim upstream against the current. A kosher Jew, just like a kosher fish, needs to have the backbone of individuality and the capacity and audacity to swim upstream. The fish and Avraham will never be like everyone else. They are different because they swim where nobody else dares to go. But that is not a bad thing. In our grade, the class of 2019, everyone has a strong backbone in our Judaism, and each of us has our own distinct qualities making us unique. Not just editing yearbook, fixing dirt bikes, dancing, sleeping in the hallway, or leading Nerd Club, but the pieces that define how we act and how we think. We are all swimming upstream in our own way, forging a unique path. But it is something we should never change, because that is what makes us kosher fish.
No matter the environment we find ourselves in, we should never lose what makes us, us. That trait, like the backbone of the fish, like the description of Abraham, is what makes us special in the eyes of God, and what will allow us to reach our destination. This fish is trying to get somewhere, probably home for Shabbat. And if it did not have that backbone, it could not get to where it needs to be. Similarly, if we don't embrace who we are as Jews, as different, we will never be able to swim against the current and accomplish our life goals. We will have to instead follow the stream, be like every other fish, and never reach our true potential. If we act and think as the individual that we are, and not like everyone else, we can and will accomplish great things.
Great figures like Abraham
And fish.
were noteworthy because they followed the stream. They challenged conventional thinking. They were their own person.
Or fish.
As a result, they were able to pave a road that had never been thought of before. We stand out. We stand out as individuals in life and our relationship with God. And we stand out as a group with 15 completely different people, pasts, and futures. Also, that was a terrible joke.
Mazel Tov Class of 2019.
It is with great pleasure and honor that I present to you the graduating class of 2019. Graduates, Mazel Tov to you for completing the end of your high school journey. To the parents, grandparents, family, and friends of our graduates, congratulations to you, for you have made it as well. What the class of 2019 may lack in numbers is gained in their collective personality, pride, creativity, ruach, love, and the legacy they will leave behind. On this stage sits young men and young women who fully represent our ideal graduate. While life is our greatest teacher and there are more lessons to come, I say with great confidence that the graduating class of 2019 is fully equipped with the skills and knowledge they will need to be successful in life's next chapter. By the time a student graduates from AJA, it is our hope that he or she will gain independence and learn to self-advocate. 2019 has done that. They have found their voices, they can articulate their needs, although sometimes their needs are wants, and they have learned to use the resources available to solve problems. For this, we are proud. By the time a student graduates from AJA, it is our hope that he or she will have a big heart, be kind to others, exhibit midot, and foster a strong connection to Israel and to other Jews. 2019 has done that. Along this journey, each graduate has shown empathy and compassion toward their peers and toward the world around us. Unfortunately, life has its way of sending tragic reminders that somehow bring us all closer together and at the same time take away a small piece of our innocence. Seeing these young men and these young women react and respond to those in pain by sharing their words of wisdom and encouragement has been equal parts humbling and inspirational. Seeing these young men and young women stand with me, with AJA, and with the broader Jewish community, while simultaneously standing beside on behalf of Israel has been admirable. And observing these young men and young women mature and grow in character has been remarkable. For this, we are proud. By the time a student graduates from AJA, it is our hope that he or she will take responsibility for their actions. 2019 has done that. As much as we would like to believe that success alone is what has gotten them here, we must acknowledge that failure has been a friend and not a foe. Failure has forced each graduate on this stage to try again and not give up until they reach their goal. And that goal is the diploma that both my lengthy speech and lengthy speeches to come are currently standing in the way of. It's even lengthier when you capture the 2019, thank you for all that you have overcome. Thank you for who you are, and thank you in advance for who you will become. Enjoy your night. You deserve it. We're proud of both your individual and your collective accomplishments. Mazal tov for now, but the best is yet to come. And now I would like to introduce tonight's keynote speaker. Many of you affectionately know Mr. Byron as an English teacher in the upper school. In addition to that, Mr. Byron has been the grade dean for the graduating class in 2019 for the last 4 years. In many schools, the keynote speaker is someone who may have broader appeal and mean absolutely nothing to the graduating class. It is so special that tonight's main address will come from someone whom the graduates know, respect, and love. Dave's relationship to the class of 2019 represents a key ingredient in the school's secret sauce. Building strong relationships is a big part of who we are and what we do. I present tonight's keynote speaker, Lord Byron.
My beloved freshies, my beloved seniors, my beloved graduates, congratulations. Transitional times like this tend to put us in a reflective mood. We reach one of life's many thresholds and we think back on the events that led us here and we think about what the future holds for us. Some reflection. I remember meeting you in the senior lounge of the Raymond Drive building where we took our first selfie together. I remember our first grade Shabbaton. Not our first grade Shabbaton, our first grade Shabbaton. I borrowed a kippah from Dr. Oberman so I could go to Friday night service with you. I enjoyed my first Shabbat dinner as I tried to figure out how much table pounding was acceptable during a religious gathering. Apparently it's quite a bit. I remember that we had 4 class Shabbatons your freshman year, a feat that I don't think has been repeated since. I remember touch football in the Sokol backyard and pool in the Wittenberg basement. I remember our freshman year study hall where I got to know some of the freshies who I didn't teach yet. There was some kind of co-op flash game, possibly involving a fire character and an ice character. There was also a lot of chat about Gossip Girl. There wasn't much studying. I remember reading Othello and Brillit. I remember cause fairs about water bottles, foster care, a faulty school system, the misuse of homework, costs of healthcare, the impacts of social media, problems with the prison system, and corrupt government. I remember all school Shabbatons and code word marathons and staying up late learning all your different games. And I want to try this. 1. 1. That was fun for me, maybe for me. I remember the first Shabbos dancing in our new building when the whole upper school was crammed into the 400 hallway, dancing and jumping and singing. I remember jumping over garbage cans. I remember failed attempts at jumping over garbage cans. I remember that we ain't gonna work on Saturday, that there's 2 more days till Shabbos, and that Yeshiva's coming out tonight. Thank you so much for sharing these experiences with me. Thank you for accepting me as your grade dean and inviting me into your lives for these 4 years. I've learned a lot about each of you, and I've also learned a lot about the culture upon which our school is built, and that only happened because y'all welcomed me into your lives. While I was writing this, I racked my brain for the appropriate antonym of reflection, and the best I came up with is projection. So allow me to take a moment to project my hopes for the future of your class. The reality is that the sky is the limit for you. In this group, there are doctors and paramedics who will help the sick and injured, engineers and tech entrepreneurs who will build the future, soldiers and social workers who will serve those who need it most, wives and husbands who will foster loving relationships, and mothers and fathers who will pass on what they've learned. And if my long-term plan pays off, at least one AJA upper school English teacher so I can retire in luxury. Looking at you, Sam David. Thinking about the future, my favorite author, Kurt Vonnegut, said, "True terror is to wake up one morning and discover that your high school class is running the country." That is not true of this group, or only slightly true of this group. If y'all, I feel like we're a decent match. So here we are, it's graduation. It's a boundary between the past and the future, a boundary between what was and what will be. So I'd like to take a minute and I'd like to tell you a story. And apologies to Rabbi E, it's not from Torah. A woman is walking through a beautiful forest enjoying her surroundings. The sun is shining, the sky through the canopy is blue and cloudless, the leaves in the trees are giant and green and dotted with colorful, delicate flowers. It's a great day to be out for a walk, and the woman is lost in thought, not paying attention to anything in particular. Suddenly she hears from behind her a low, throaty growl, and she turns to see a trio of tigers stalking her from the tree line. Their eyes connect a moment and the moment passes, they silently regard one another. Then almost at once, the three tigers dig their claws into the dirt and bound after her in the unmistakable gait of a predator overtaking its prey. Immediately she turns and runs, dodging trees, jumping fallen logs, throwing reckless glances over her shoulder as the tigers close the distance between them. 100 feet ahead, the woman sees an unexpected horizon as the land ends and she realizes she's headed for a cliff. But by now she can hear the tigers' footsteps and their deep, panting breath behind her. And she knows without looking that they'll have her soon. So she runs as fast as she can towards the precipice of the cliff, and with no other choice, she throws herself off the edge. She falls, but only briefly. Miraculously, as she tumbles over the edge, her hand grasps the lone branch of a plant growing precariously out of the side of the cliff, and she arrests her fall. But the plant is fragile, and already she can feel it slowly losing its tenuous hold on the cliff face. Go with me? All right. She looks down at a sheer 100-foot drop to a river dotted with jagged rocks. As she looks closer, she realizes that many of those rocks are actually the rough, scaly armor of river crocodiles who look up at her with gluttonous anticipation, waiting for her to fall so they can fight amongst themselves over her savory, meaty limbs. She looks up and the tigers are 10 feet above her, feigning attacks, swatting their claws at her and snarling. She looks down and the crocodiles are jockeying for position and rolling in the water with carnivorous glee. She looks at the branch, slowly separating itself from the cliff wall. And then she sees on the small green vine twined around the branch one solitary wild strawberry. It is red, and it is plump with summer sweetness. She looks at the tigers, and she looks at the crocodiles, and she looks at the failing branch. Then she plucks the berry from the vine with her free hand and eats it. And it is delicious. And that's the end of the story. I'm an English teacher, so I'm used to confused looks after you finish reading something, so bear with me. And since I'm an English teacher, I understand symbolism. Symbolism in literature is when one thing represents something else, usually something concrete representing something abstract, an object representing an idea. So I know that while the story talks about a tiger chasing you down, it's not just a tiger, something concrete, but it represents something larger, something abstract, in this case, the past. We all have tigers in our past, things we regret doing, things we regret not doing. Failures, missed opportunities, bad decisions, things we've done to others, things others have done to us. All tigers chasing us from behind. And I'm an English teacher, so I know that while the story talks about a crocodile waiting for you below, it's not just a crocodile, something concrete, but it represents something larger, something abstract, the future. We all have worries and anxieties about the future, about an upcoming test or deadline, about a task we're not excited to do, about the potential what-ifs that plague our thoughts. What if I'm late for my interview? What if a loved one gets sick? What if I lose my job, or flunk out of college, or ruin a relationship, or any of the number of things that can go wrong at any time? All crocodiles waiting for us below. And I'm an English teacher, so I know that while the story talks about a wild strawberry, it's not just a strawberry, it's something concrete, but it represents something larger, something abstract. The present. Right there, it's right there for you. So here's the lesson. And it's a lesson that I struggle with, and it's a lesson that every adult I know struggles with in some way. We all have tigers bearing down on us, we all have crocodiles waiting hungrily for us, and too often the tigers and the crocodiles occupy so much of our attention that we miss the strawberry. Too often we are critical of our past, and too often we are anxious about our future, and as a result we miss out on the beautiful and bountiful present. So my challenge to you, graduates, is to focus on the strawberry, to be present in the moment, and to appreciate the immediate details that make our lives joyous if we let them. The past will always be there, and it's important. The future will always be there, and it's important. But the present is only here right now. The past was, and the future will be, but now is the only time that is. And on that note, if you'll indulge me, I would like to take this moment to appreciate one last now together with an extraordinary group of kids who I have a lot of affection for.
Really embrace this 4 years because we have such an incredible community and such a loving environment. Become a part of it because you won't regret it.
It's a small school, but one of the benefits of a small school is that there are a lot of opportunities for leadership or for involvement in different clubs or organizations. And really all you need to do is put yourself out there and take advantage of these opportunities. So go for it because everything is open.
High school is a time where you're with your family and your friends and a certain group of people for the last time before you're about to leave. So what I really tried my senior year was to spend a lot of time at home, a lot of time building all of my relationships, and so that way when I feel that I'm ready to leave, I'm actually ready and I don't feel like I have any regrets.
Just to take care of each other, that you're all on the same team, you're playing in the same game for the same reward of graduation, that you're gonna hit hard times. Everyone does, and it's gonna be really tough, and you're not gonna think you're gonna get through it. But as long as you just stick together with people that love you, you're gonna be okay.
A message I would give AJA students is that school is important, it really is important, and you should work hard, but at the end of the day, these are your youth years, so you should enjoy them and also have fun.
Importance of taking responsibility for your actions and not depending on someone solely for something you need to do, because it is really important to put your mark on what you're doing.
Appreciate the bond that you have with your teachers and try to strengthen those bonds because it's not something they'll get everywhere in life.
It would probably be to stay in contact. We are friends with each other, and if we're not careful, we won't ever see each other again. So we have to stay close. We've known each other for so many years.
Is that you never stop believing in yourself and keep trying everything. I know it really seems like you're never going to get out of here, and it seems like it's taking a really long time, but it comes a lot faster than you think it would. So just really experience your high school experience because you don't get it for long.
You can do it. Look at me. No matter what adversity you face, no matter what you have to go through, you're gonna get through it. You're gonna do it. At the end of the day, it'll be over, and you have got to do it, and you'll have done a good job. Because if I can graduate, then y'all can do anything.
Welcome, family and friends, to this momentous event for the class of 2019. I speak for the entire graduating class when I say we are so thankful for your attendance. Passion. What do people always say? Follow your passion, find your passion. But what does that even mean? Growing up, we hear these statements all the time from people hoping to guide us in life by giving us some sort of mantra to live by. We are encouraged, almost urged, to find our true passion so that success can follow. And without that true passion, success is not a given. It always seems to go, find your passion, be successful. However, I've always seen this as a cliche, as a fantasy that I'm expected to somehow learn from. I mean, when you think about it, do we really know what passion means to the average person? Does everyone really have a true passion? When turning to the trusty Merriam-Webster.com, I found many definitions to work with. The one that most resembled how I view passion was, quote, a strong liking or desire for or devotion to some activity, object, or concept. Now, this is starting to make some sense. Everyone is asking me to find something in life that I have a strong desire to learn about or experience or perform. And this seemed pretty impossible for me for a long time. I mean, what does a 7th grader have a strong desire to do? Go shopping? But then, as high school began, as classes commenced, I realized I really had to get on this. I mean, I really had to start looking for my passion in life. I tried out a couple things. I played sports with my friends on the volleyball and basketball court. And while I will acknowledge that I made some incredible memories with them, I can't truly say they were my true passion. I don't think I could go pro, though that would be pretty awesome. I joined Yearbook, volunteered with Friendship Circle, and participated in Israel Advocacy, all of which were experiences I am so incredibly thankful for. But none of those stood out to me as my passion, my drive to learn and grow. This search, this quest for passion sometimes worried me. I mean, was I going to find it, my true passion, or would I have to settle for something that just interests me? But then, something happened that would forever change my path in life. Something mind-blowing and universe-flipping. I signed up for AP Biology. And while that explanation seems exaggerated and overdone, anyone who has taken the course would agree with those statements. It is a tough one. Now, throughout my junior year, saying this course challenged me is the true understatement. As a student who struggled with accepting a B test grade or even an A-, AP Biology truly opened my eyes to what the real world is like. In this class, anything above an 80 was a miracle. But I sadly only realized that about halfway through the year. The class tested my endurance, my mental strength, and my memory, all while being quite possibly the most interesting class of my entire high school career. I would go home to study and not feel burdened with the multitude of notes and concepts to remember, but happy to learn about the systems of the world and life itself. And after the class was over and the AP was complete, I realized how much I really retained from the class and how interested I still was. And that was when I realized I had found it. I had found the subject, the activity that I had a strong desire to learn about, to experience, and perform. I had found my passion. Now, I could go on and on about my passion and fascination for biology, how expansive and incredible this subject is, but I would rather talk about the struggle I had with passion. While passion is an outstanding motivator, pushing one to do amazing things, it can also push one to be unrealistic. My passion for biology gave me motivation and grit, but also unrealistic expectations for myself that I generalized to everything in my life. I strived to be perfect in everything I did, pushing myself to my limits academically and therefore mentally. I wanted everything to be how I wanted it to be, becoming controlling and overzealous. With school, I struggled to accept anything less than the best. I needed every assignment to be perfect before I turned it in, or I would be extremely disappointed in myself. And this passion for perfectionism extended to my social life as well. With friends, I constantly had to check in and make sure I was on top of our relationship, or else I felt like it would fall through the cracks. I tried to seal all the cracks in my life that things could fall through. I didn't want anything to be less than perfect, because less than perfect meant failure. In retrospect, I can see what I was seeking. I was seeking validation that I was doing enough. I was seeking the reassurance that I was doing enough, and I was going to succeed in life, to succeed in not only my passion, but conquering the world. As I spoke about in my senior talk, all I could think about was that I could do more. I could make things better, but in reality, all that attitude was giving me was disappointment. But what this year has shown me, as I looked to my peers and saw where each one of them was heading, what true passion looks like. And each and every one of them has a unique one that stands out. Noah's passion for helping others through being a paramedic, Summer's passion for both theater and Israel advocacy, Esther's passion for just being unapologetically herself, Maydon's passion for Torah learning and the humanities, Liel's passion for peace and understanding, Shani's passion for the state of Israel, Brad's passion for computer science and technology, Talia's passion for putting a smile on each and every person's face, Oron's passion for mechanics and physics, Caroline's passion for volunteer work, Estie's passion for reforming the foster care system, Yitzi's passion for humor, Mayan's passion for community and friendship, and Sam's passion for being a legend. As you can see, we have a truly remarkable group before us, a group of passionate, motivated, inspirational, and kind graduates. Each and every one of us is unique in our desires to succeed, and that is the biggest lesson I have been taught by you all. Passion is not about being the best in what you love. It is not about pushing yourself past your limits to perform above others. It is not about perfection or control. Passion is about doing what you love because you love it, because you have a strong desire to experience or learn. My passion for biology and my peers' passion for a multitude of causes exists not because others have forced us to find our passion, but because each and every one of us has found something that they would like to offer the world, to use our passion for good. So now, when someone tells you that you've got to find your passion, tell them it's not about seeking out passion. No, it is about surrounding yourself with incredible teachers, friends, and family who will help your true passion find you. Thank you.
Big tech company working away for hours on end. Maybe I'll make it big.
I'm hoping to be in a stable romantic relationship, Mr. Erdogan. Learning things that I'm really interested in.
I don't exactly know what I want to do in my life. I just know that in 10 years, I'm going to be happy and content and just living my best life. 10 years.
Somewhere learning something, just doing something
In 10 years, I see myself living in Israel, working in the medical field, and having my own family.
In 10 years, I hope to have already made Aliyah, and I hope that I will have completed a meaningful service to the country and doing what I am happy to do.
I hope to be out of college, a seasoned traveler, and with a solid job, and married with 2 kids.
So I guess finishing college with my PhD in neuroscience and going to university.
I'll probably be in Israel, married with a couple children, raising a very Jewish Orthodox family. I don't know what I'm going to do for a job, but hopefully it'll be in science or math. So
I'll have at least one baby in 10 years, as you all know, and I'll hopefully be working with foster kids in some way, and I'll have a really cute golden retriever.
So in 10 years, I hope to be a nurse, but also like nurse by day, and then like on weekends, I really want to be like an events planner.
I hopefully see myself married, plenty of kids, an amazing life, doing
research and just hopefully curing something or helping people with something. In 10 years, I'll have a job, be married, and have kids.
10 years, I will be in a penthouse in New York, running my own business school. I will be running for public office.
Maybe a wife, of course, and probably a job something in engineering, and I might have my own company too. So, yeah.
Good evening, and welcome. Thank you to everyone who has come from near and far to celebrate our graduation with us, the Atlanta Jewish Academy Class of 2019. George Saunders, a contemporary fiction writer, said, "In art, and maybe just in general, it is important to be able to be really comfortable with contradictory ideas. In other words, wisdom might be two contradictory ideas, both expressed at their highest level, and just like to sit in the same cage, sort of vibrating." Our high school experience has been filled with vibrations. In a high school that values tradition, but allows students to engage fully in the modern world, students are often caught in the struggle between these two forces. Yet, rather than detracting from our religious experience, this tension adds meaning and depth to it. Here's an example. During a senior class meeting this year, we were trying to plan a whole school activity for an upcoming event, and we were discussing the possibility of organizing a game of Capture the Flag. For those of you who don't know, Capture the Flag involves splitting into two teams, and members of one team tagging members of the other team. This would lead to a situation in which one might break the halakhic restriction of Shomer Negia, a prohibition against touching members of the other gender outside of the context of marriage. We debated methods of getting around this prohibition and whether or not we should scratch the whole idea on the basis of this prohibition. But the real issue at hand was the observance of the laws of Shomer Negia more broadly. What was clearly in the room, but left unsaid, was a diversity of feelings and opinions about the restrictions of Shomer Negia. There's a spectrum of observance regarding Shomer Negia in our class. On the one end of the spectrum, there are those who observe an absolute prohibition on any physical contact with members of the opposite gender. On the other end of the spectrum, there are those that find the restrictions somewhat antiquated and regularly engage in casual contact. For some, the concept of Shomer Negia derives from an understanding of the unique value of physical contact between men and women. And I've been in conversations where a classmate suggested that in order to preserve this value, one ought to reserve physical contact for dating relationships. For many, their attitude to Shomer Negia is evolving, and their approach to it has shifted over time. Many grapple with these restrictions and the value behind it. This struggle is emblematic of a broader struggle between the halakhic tradition and students' own experience and understanding of societal norms. Gender dynamics permeate high school, but in our class and in AJA, they're colored and brought to life through a dialectic between an ancient tradition and a modern world. Navigating the contradictions between our experience and the halakha is a central challenge for those of us graduating today. While this struggle could be seen as corrosive to the tradition, it's actually quite beautiful. There's a rich conversation going on in our class. It's an intergenerational conversation with the rabbis of the past, and it's a communal conversation in the present. It's a conversation about making meaning out of an inherited tradition in contemporary society. For those of us who neither accept the rules carte blanche nor reject them out of hand, there are no easy answers. To live in the struggle is to constantly seek and to never quite find answers. To live like Yaakov, whose name Israel implied his struggle with God and with other people. While, unlike Yaakov, we may not ever quite prevail, it is from living in the struggle and embracing the struggle that we grow. There's a messiness to living in the dissonance and allowing contradictory ideas to exist together. A messiness to the vibrations to which Saunders refers. Living in the mess often comes at the price of consistency. Consistency is sacrifice for relationship. Relationship with community, with divinity, and with oneself. Issues such as Shomer Negiah are not necessarily addressed through the lens of a rational, consistent approach to halakhic questions, but through the web of relationships which color our lives. The Talmud relates that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son spent 12 years in a cave learning Torah and hiding from the Romans. When they emerged from their isolation, they saw people who were plowing and sowing, engaged in temporal matters of the physical world, rather than spiritual matters. Enraged, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son began to burn people with their eyes, until God sent them back into the cave. When, after 12 months, the pair emerged again, they saw a man running with 2 bundles of myrtles as the sun set on Friday afternoon before Shabbat. They asked the man, "Why do you have these?" He told them, "In honor of Shabbat." Then they asked, "Wouldn't one bundle suffice?" He responded that the bundles correspond to 2 different commandments which God gave in regards to Shabbat. The commandment of Zachor, to remember the Shabbat, and the commandment of Shamor, to observe the Shabbat. The man was finding a way to meaningfully integrate the Torah's command to remember and observe the Shabbat into his own life. That man taught Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son an important lesson. The man showed them that there are ways to bridge this world and the ideal world of the Torah. To live in the contradiction between physical pursuits and divine service. To make meaning out of the Torah without secluding oneself in the cave of study. When I look around at our class, I see contradictions. But I also see a community born out of these contradictions. The common struggle unifies us as a class. It leads to a shared investment in the work of making meaning out of the Torah. The common struggle also forms a bridge of continuity with the past. While some of our struggles may be new, the act of struggling is an enactment of the tradition, an enactment of the commitment to struggling which stretches back from us, across generations, through the Talmud, all the way back to Yaakov. As we leave the confines of this building, the community we created together here will help us to continue to find our own meaning in the Zachor, the remembrance, and the Shamor, the observance of our shared tradition. I hope that as the sun sets on the Friday afternoon of our high school careers, we, the class of 2019, will carry with us into the future the bundles of myrtles that we have gathered together these past 4 years. Thank you.
Dark
I want to begin by thanking each one of you. Oftentimes, in the work that I do, I get very involved in the business side and the running of the school. Sitting here mesmerized by your speeches, by your presence, helps remind me, and hopefully all of us, what we do is for you. And why we are here is about you, and you give us hope. There's one final thing, bracha, I want to give to you, and then we'll get you graduated. Va'ish Moshe anav me'od mikol adam asher al pnei ha'adamah. The Gemara in the Darby teaches that only a person who is strong, wealthy, wise, and humble will the Shekhinah, the presence of God, rest upon. It's a little bit odd that Hashem would only rest His presence on someone who is strong and wealthy. Why would strong and wealthy be a criteria for Hashem's Shekhinah? Baruch Epstein says that we have it all wrong. It's that wealth and strength are the prerequisites for anava, for humility. It's easy to be humble when you don't have much to be haughty about. But somebody who has something to be haughty about, strength, wealth, wisdom, that's when anava shines. That's where Hashem's Shekhinah resides, is somebody who is humble. And our tradition points to all the qualities of Moshe. But it's Ramban who says that anava, humility, transcends all of those qualities. Moshe was very aware of his greatness, which surpassed most other human beings. And yet, he was the most humble of men. You guys have plenty what to boast about. You are dynamic. You are high-achieving as they come. You're on to ways to the best schools in this country and in Israel. You've been awarded tremendous scholarship money. You are grounded in a group of young adults. You always hold yourselves with dignity and respect. And with all the changes that you've experienced, you have led our school and kept your unique spirits alive. And most of all, you have done this with grace, kindness, and most importantly, with humility. My bracha for you all is that you keep doing what you are doing. Be who you are. Show them what you are made of. Make your mark. Be great. And most of all, at least for me, walk the path of greatness like Moshe Rabbeinu, with humility, with anava, and remember from where you came. Now, let's get you graduated.
Graduates, as I call each of you forward, I'll be sharing with you very special words that are from the collective hearts of the entire upper school faculty. First graduate, S.D. Cohen. Esty is a deep thinker who strives to understand the big picture. Esty allows herself to trust the process and always works with a growth mindset toward her end goals, which allows her to remarkably be successful in every area of study. Esty doesn't avoid struggle. Instead, her resilience allows her to work hard in the face of adversity, overcome challenging situations, and blaze her own path in life. Esty is a leader of the basketball team, is extremely well organized, and she's wonderful around children. Esty loves rock and roll music and we know she will continue to rock on in the free world in Israel, college, and beyond. Esty, Mazel Tov. Leo Barak. Is there anyone more optimistic than Leo? She always sees the glass as half full and always finds the silver lining. She's an organized and hard-working young woman who has made tremendous progress in all subject areas. She's very open and confident, and she does an outstanding job identifying ways she can improve, and then makes it her focus and her determination. Leo has a mental toughness that is second to none. She handles adversity well and does not let setbacks stop her. She just pushes harder to meet her goals. A great teammate, she lifts the spirits of those around her, and with her positive outlook on life and upbeat demeanor, she's a joy to us all. Even a severe ankle sprain did not get her down. Mazel tov, Leo. Esther Freitag. Esther has a tremendous self-awareness and maturity, which elevates the level of classroom discussion and discourse. She has strong opinions and is brave enough to share them, even if others don't agree. Esther is always true to herself. She knows who she is and where she wants to be, and also understands that growth is a process. She's working toward becoming her best self. Esther is a strong writer, and her creative pieces are always impressive. Esther really comes alive on stage, especially in Hagiga villain roles. She owns her characters and channels her energy into memorable performances. Esther Mazzalto. Zoe Sokol. Zoe is a wonderful student, daughter, little sister to Daniela, and big sister to Elliot. Not only is Zoe a leader on the court with both basketball and volleyball teams, she's also a role model inside the classroom. She's a hard worker, supportive friend, and an ally always willing to step up and help others. Zoe is a natural leader. She guides others by example, helps them to grow, and she does not seek praise or accolades. She's an independent learner who's motivated to discover and learn as much as she possibly can, which has allowed her to be accomplished in all subject areas. She's comfortable with who she is and has her priorities straight. She will continue to accomplish great feats in Israel, college, and in life. Zoe Rizalto. Mayan Star. Mayan has transformed from a timid ninth grader into a strong leader and role model. Focused, determined, and very organized, Mayan goes above and beyond as a student, as a leader, and as a friend. As student council co-president, she led many events for her peers and always looked for ways to include all students and to reach every member of our community. Her ability to find the positive in any situation and to consider how others think and feel allowed her to develop both consensus and trust. As a result, student council events from community time to Purim laser tag, everything that Mayan touched was well received and greatly appreciated by her peers. Mayan is also very devout in her Judaism and lives her life guided by Torah. She will continue to grow and thrive as she takes the Mayan show on the road to Israel and then Stern. Mayan, Mazal Tov.
All right, Noah Dan. Noah moved to Atlanta from Israel just before 11th grade began, and she dove right in, making friends, taking on academic challenges, and learning the wonderful and sometimes strange culture of America. She had to work hard to adjust to learning in English, but she handled this challenge with grace and strength. She is determined to succeed and doesn't make excuses. She has taken a very difficult course load, especially senior year, but she always is up for academic challenges. She's also worked very hard to become a contributing member of the basketball team, despite never having played before moving to America. Always smiling, Noah radiates positivity. With a pleasant ease, she helps her family and friends with a variety of tasks, both at school and home. She is admired and well-liked by her peers. Noah has become a valued and key member of our upper school community. Congratulations. Caroline Garfunkel. Kind and empathetic, Caroline is passionate about giving back to others and making the world a better place. Caroline is so invested in Judaism that she moved from Savannah to Atlanta to continue her Judaic studies at AJA. She displays great inner strength, a high level of resilience, and impressive mental fortitude. She models a growth mindset and lifts up those around her. She's a caring and nurturing friend, focused and undeterred in her pursuit of her future goals. Caroline is willing to do whatever it takes to make positive contributions to the world. Congratulations. Summer Pitichelli. Summer is intensely passionate about her studies, her goals, and her artistic endeavors. As a Giga writer, director, and all-around brand poobah, her creativity, hard work, and love for theater combined to bring to life an outstanding production that allowed the whole cast to shine. She's also an excellent writer who has written a wide range of poems, short stories, and essays, and enjoys analyzing literature. A dedicated soccer player, she can often be found developing her goalie skills in the Hagiga off-season. As an Israel advocacy leader, she attended several AIPAC national events, including being a featured speaker at this year's national convention. She's very devout and takes religion seriously. Torah informs her decisions and will always be a key force in her life. Feisty and assertive, confident and unique, she's bound to make an impact in the fields she chooses to pursue. Watch out, world. It's summertime. Sam David. Fun and friendly, Sam has grown and matured during high reflected on his freshman and sophomore years. He said if he could mentor his younger self, he'd kick his own behind and set himself straight. This highlights his insight and authenticity and emphasizes the progress he's made. As an AGA senior, Sam now seeks out personal opportunities for both current and future learning. He often learns independently with Rabbi Eden, and he's committed to personal growth. This year, he has taken ownership of his academics and embraced personal responsibility for his educational and personal success. Sam is the kind of person you want as your friend. Loyal, considerate, sensitive, and respectful. He's also extremely funny, as his friends are often laughing and enjoying life when they spend time with Sam. He has many unusual yet colorful passions, such as his love of the video game Castlevania and a profound appreciation for the painter Bob Ross. Although Sam is ready to begin his post-AGA journey, we will miss his sense of humor and quirky personality. Congratulations. Medad has helped AGA become a stronger institution through his many contributions. No one works harder than Medad, as he's motivated, organized, a disciplined student of all subject areas, and a wise Torah scholar. He's an effective leader with an unusual knack for delegation. As student council co-president and as Palette editor-in-chief, he made sure everyone was involved and productive while managing to stay fully engaged, yet not overwhelmed. Medad also enjoys studying independently and for his own enrichment, whether through enhanced Torah study outside of class or by practicing his jazz trumpet skills daily and by performing with the Georgia State Jazz Ensemble. A man of many interests, he always helps lead Shabbos dancing on Fridays at the upper school, enjoys spending time in nature, and has deep conversations with his peers about life, the universe, and football. Despite his accomplishments, Medad stays humble. He knows the best is yet to come, and the more we can all work together, the greater the reward. Congratulations.
Wow. Oron Torah. I don't think anybody's answered tonight. Oron has many strengths, and he's made an impact on the basketball court, in the makerspace, in his garage laboratory, in the kitchen, and with his family. Oron has a powerful sense of humor and stays positive regardless of the situation. He's always supportive of his friends. He's always there for his sister, even if that means giving her a piggyback ride up the stairs. He handles pressure well and displays leadership qualities as a team captain. He's mechanically inclined and resourceful, qualities that allow him to be an accomplished math student and dirt bike tinkerer. He's also a dedicated cook and has a deep appreciation for excellent chicken. Mazal tov Oron. Yitzi Zoltan.
accomplished, talented young man who has a bright future ahead of him. A veteran AJA baseball player, founder of AJA's Peer Connect peer tutoring program, the Cause Fair winner of 2018, and an accomplished Sugo cabinet member, Yitzi has already amassed an impressive resume. Yet, Yitzi is motivated by how he can help others and how he can find ways to make his peers, his team, and our school a better place to learn and to grow. Yitzi has an analytical mind that grapples with mathematics as well as literature, and he's an original thinker who appreciates new insights and new ideas. He listens well and is always respectful of both faculty and peers. A true mensch, Yitzi will be missed, but we're sure that his big heart will keep him warm during cold Michigan winters. Brad Flory. Brad is a man of many talents. He's the class 2019 tech expert, and he's an accomplished computer programmer and adept at using new devices and applications. He persistently applied himself to reviving the 3D printer in the makerspace this year, using both his own tech skills to troubleshoot several issues, then working with an AJA technology booster to get outside help needed to get the printer working smoothly again. And on top of that, he's trained AJA science faculty on how to use the device so that they can be part of the makerspace and it can continue to run in the post-Brad era. Brad is authentic and sincere. He knows his strengths and how to maximize his results. He's also co-president of the Nerd Club and has an impressive collection of evil villain laughs. Brad is nice, kind, respectful, and passionate about sharing his interests. He's a general, all-around good guy, the type of person who does the right thing even when no one is looking. Mazal tov. Talia Whittenberg. Talia is very bright in more than one way, and quick to notice unusual details. A gifted creative writer and a hilarious comedian, she's a woman of many skills and talents. As a friend, she's sensitive, honest, and very approachable. She's kind and loyal to all. Talia has a unique perspective on life and enjoys sharing unusual viewpoints during class discussions, advisory time, during hallway chats with friends, before, after, sometimes during class. Talia will continue to blaze her own path post-high school with that big smile spread across her face, and we're excited to hear about what she will discover in her post-AJA adventures. Mazal tov. Last but certainly not least, Shani Kadosh. Shani is a passionate student, leader, and advocate. While she marches to her own beat, she never misses an opportunity to share her fervor with friends and peers alike. From her kindness towards and mentoring of freshmen through senior sisters, to her photography and other talents, and leadership seen on the carefully manicured pages of the yearbook, everything she touches exudes a careful touch and a drive for excellence. She's excited by a good discussion or debate in any class, Judaic or general studies, and always looking to infuse our school with more programming about Israel. Speaking of Israel, there may be nothing Shani loves more, and we are so proud that she will not only be learning next year in Israel, but entering the IDF and making Aliyah. Her smile and indefatigable spirit will be missed in our halls, but our loss is Israel's gain. Mazal Tov Shani. And now, please give your attention to the class of 2019's grade reps, Shani Kadosh, Noah Dam, and Essie Cohen.